Hey, what's going, y'all? Just out for a morning walk. Want to talk with y'all. Talk to y'all. Yeah. Hopefully I can do this video with a straight face. So I just woke up, so bear with me. But no, just wanted to do a continuation video. And it's, just continuing to talk about what men actually provide. And so with the previous video, I just basically just explained how men actually only provide one thing. And that one thing is vitamin D. And I try to put it in a natural perspective as far as how the sun provides vitamin D. And based on its provision of vitamin D, everything else becomes lively just based on that one act of vitamin D. Just basically its ultraviolet rays. Yeah, that's the vitamin D from the sun. And so in many ways, the man is like the sun too. It doesn't take much as far as what a man provides. And so when he's around a woman, all he has to do is provide her some vitamin D, literally. And so that means just a lot of intimacy and sometimes sex. So that's where the vitamin D comes from. That's all a man provides. You hear somebody else tell you anything else, they don't know what they're talking about. So no, provision from a man is not in a materialistic financial sense, even though popular society likes to say that. A man only provides one thing, and that's vitamin D. That's his intimacy and sometimes his sex with a woman who's not trying to be like a typical female. And so, just like with the sun, as I explained in a previous video, all it takes is for just the UVs from that sun, aka vitamin D. All it takes is this UVs, and you see the life that's around me right now. Everything is green, man. Birds chirping, birds chirping. Everybody out working, the animals out working. Everything becomes more lively just based on the rays of the sun alone. So basically, a man's presence is all he needs to provide to a woman. For her to want to get right, for her to want to literally work around him and be there for him, be his helpmeet. Every now and then he implements a little bit more of his vitamin D, aka his intimacy and sometimes his sex, just to ensure her that he thinks highly of her. He puts his light on her. He sheds his light onto her, So that's kind of getting off into this idea of how it gets off into some other things, and I can't quite think about like how I'm going to spin that off, but it has to do with projection. But I'll talk about projection down the road. But that's all a man really needs to provide is his vitamin D, and I just told y'all how that is the case. I guess one more thing I can say to wrap this up is, fellas, if she's not trying to be bright, don't shed any light, because your light is what makes her bright. If you're shedding light and she's not trying to be bright, then call it a night. And don't see her the next day. Don't give her your day light. Don't do that, because she wants to live in the dark, But yeah, anytime someone tries to say a man, the way he's supposed to provide is based on him having money and, he's supposed to have his assets together, he's supposed to be financially stable, that's not provision. That's his stability. That's his financial assets. That's his stability for him, that he may just share with a woman that's not trying to be like a typical female. Therefore, she's worthy of him shedding his light on her, him treating her out. But overall, it's based on him just seeing that she's worth it. She's bright. You know what I'm saying? So he'll give her, you know, he'll treat her out sometimes. But no, it's not a given. It's not a given that he should give those things away. No, he just shares those things. The only thing a man has to provide is his vitamin D, which, as I just said, is his intimacy and sometimes his sex. Sometimes his sex. So I guess I could wrap up with this because I've talked about sex before here at my channel. Sex should just always be occasional because sex is spiritual. You know, you might have your fun the first time around, fellas, but you know, you want to make it a special occasion because it is spiritual. So never see sex as just recreational. It's kind of like, you know, and I never understood this, but this is just my perspective. You know, certain things are made to be medicinal, not recreational. But people have made a lot of things recreational instead of medicinal. But the same thing with sex, though. Sex, in many ways, is medicinal, too. You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to be recreational, but we've made it that way. You know, when Marvin Gaye said that when I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. Now, of course, he said that from a feminine perspective instead of a masculine perspective, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. But in essence, when a man gives a woman his sex or vitamin D, he, in essence, is giving her sexual healing. You know what I'm saying? Even in the aspect of intimacy, even though intimacy and sex aren't the same things, intimacy does represent a realm of sexual healing. It does represent an aspect of sexual healing. You know, intimacy does. But yeah, that's all a man provides. You know, that's all he provides. All that other stuff is just matrix talk. It's all part of that blue pill toxicity. Signing out.